Nice. Just be it. Patrocinador del Maestro en Forma. You're going to die. From the moment you arrive on this planet, one thing is certain. One day, you'll die. A few years ago, I decided to listen to an audiobook by Robert Greene and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson called The 50th Law. This book focuses on the idea of overcoming fear using stories from 50's life as anecdotes. 50 Cent, if you didn't already know, is a rapper, actor, businessman, and investor. He's well known for having survived an attempt on his life in which he was shot 9 times, though there are many other interesting facts to learn about him. For example, how he reacted in the face of numerous challenges he came up against during his youth. In my opinion, it's a great book to read if you need to put things in perspective, because it's a self-help book with a brutally honest approach. One of the concepts presented in the book is that you have to confront your death and use it to drive your actions, so that you may be more brave. The idea is that once you have accepted your destiny, you'll pursue your goals with more urgency, and you'll give less importance to petty issues because you'll become more aware of the fleeting nature of all things in life. In my case, it gave me a simplification of life's problems and made me more pragmatic, to take more responsibility for my own success and happiness. I think it's important to be pragmatic because in this day and age, the world of labor is getting more and more difficult for young people, which is quite ironic considering it's getting easier and easier to find success as an entrepreneur or an artist. It can also be applied to your daily life just as easily. Some might find it strange to hear death being used as inspiration, but the truth is that it's just as applicable to someone who wants to change their job, change their partner, move country, change some part of their personality, etc. Discomfort and fear are the two enemies the majority of people spend all their time trying to avoid. That makes no sense because there's nothing great that can be achieved without having to overcome some measure of fear and discomfort. How people deal with discomfort and fear is what separates the champions from the rest. Let me give the example of Laura and James, 2 people at a work meeting. Their boss asks a question to which they both have the answer. But while Laura shares her opinion, James, out of fear of being wrong and the discomfort of being around people who could influence his employment career, chooses to stay quiet. If their boss subsequently chooses to promote Laura ahead of James, it will be because she deserves it more. Her comfort with the possibility of making an error in front of her bosses is what makes her a better leader. Seeing as you only have so many years on this planet, it might be in your best interest to spend less time worrying about the things beyond your control and learn to give less importance to certain occurrences. It's much easier to apply the old adage, "Don't cry over spilt milk," once you get it into your thick skull that your time here on earth is limited. Once you've accepted the fact each day will bring forth its own problems and that you can't control that, you'll stop being the sort of person that's waiting for everyone else to provide them with the life they want, like a prince, and you'll begin to turn into the sort of person who makes a difference in your own world by being more severe with yourself. A result of this severity is better self-esteem. From the moment you arrive on this planet, one thing is certain. One day you'll die. When that day arrives, there'll be no excuses and no do-overs. How are you going to spend your time? Are you going to die trying to better yourself and the world around you? Or do you prefer to sit on the sofa, scratching your backside, complaining as if the world owes you something? I know my answer. What's yours? No se olvida seguirme en Facebook, Instagram y WordPress para sacar mucho más consejos para aprender inglés. Hasta luego.